comment?
Can't let it go too long.
Hey, come on. Okay. Get up here by Rick so I can get you all. Oh, no. Get up there by Rick so I can get you all.
So I called and told the secretary.
Get up there. Hi, you guys.
Oh.
Come on, Grandma.
What? I'm not
Roger, come on.
I'm not graduating.
Grandma. Come on.
Up there. She told you?
Oh, dear.
She's behind you.
Hey, I'm not that much short.
Graduation ceremony for the Crawford Central Night School and for the Single Point of Contact program. I know your information said we would be in room A13, and this group of graduates has so many friends and relatives that Dave Bowser arranged for us to get the auditorium instead because you would have been very cozy in the other room. I'd like to introduce the president of the school board, Charlotte Thomas. And okay, just do introductions now. You get your speech later. And superintendent of Crawford Central School District, James the Scholar. And adult education supervisor, Dave Bowser Jr. Our teachers are back there behind the students. We have our social studies teacher, Fran Rogers, students. New this year, Louise Wilman Spade, our English teacher. Our counselor, Jennifer Stevens. Our science teacher, Jerry Humes, who's over here, who's been running around talking about. Also not here at the moment, our math teacher, Cinda Belinsky, and our special ed teacher, Beth Billy, who's home with a 2-week-old baby. Okay, now, Charlotte.
If I seemed a little anxious, it's because moments like this are so important in our lives. And as I look at our graduates over there, I want to let you know on behalf of the Crawford Central School Board how proud we are of you, how much we celebrate this first step in what we hope will be a long and more successful journey toward lifelong learning. We're so proud of you. I'm so pleased to be here, and I can't wait for you to get your diplomas. And I want you to know this is probably the largest turnout that we have ever had for this very special occasion. So, welcome.
I'd like also to congratulate the graduating seniors, we'll call them, all right. Oftentimes, senior has a different connotation. Senior can mean 12th grade, but senior can also mean age 55 and over. I like to call these non-traditional students, because that's a term that is being used quite often in education today. Because many of us, including myself, all right, still involved in schoolwork. And rather than worry about age, we simply call anyone over 18 non-traditional if they're attending school. So I congratulate you very much. I think there are a lot of people standing out here that also are very proud of you. I'm working on a speech for graduation, and it's going to be called Building for the Future. Now, building has different connotations. Building meaning setting a foundation for our own lives, or in the case that we've gone through in Crawford Central, a building meaning a building I was just in a meeting this afternoon talking about our new building for Crawford Central and Meadville attendance area, where we're going to do an awful lot of renovation in this area, and probably hopefully in about 6 weeks we're going to see trailers and trucks and backhoes and everything in this area. But I think you just maybe took a little bit of time to build the future. I think today is just something in your lives that I think is very important to you, and I hope it's not just not the only step, but only the first step, as Mrs. Thomas said. I think it's something that many of you have looked forward to. Kids 18 years of age, when they graduate from high school, all they have to do is juggle a few things. Looking at many of the people around, you got to juggle more than one thing. To juggle time, family, jobs, and a number of other things, and I really think that sitting here tonight, you should be as proud, if not prouder, than many of them we're going to award next week. So congratulations to each and every one of you. The Crawford Central School District is proud of you, and we hope that this is just the first step of lifelong education, as Mrs. Thomas has said. Congratulations.
As the supervisor of adult ed, I want to present this class to the superintendent here. These students have attended night school. They have met the requirements, the number of hours. They have passed the test, but probably a third of the students in the United States can't pass the GED test. And so they have fulfilled all the requirements that the school board has set forth to receive a diploma. So I will now turn this class over to you.
Thank you, Mr. Bowser. I accept and commend the class, the adult ed class of 1996. I'd like to begin at this time with your diplomas. Mrs. Thomas, will you come on up?
Our patterns. We're used to doing things a different way. Jason Chamberlain, I don't think, has come in. He was one who finished just past the graduating class last year. First one who is here is Jennifer Copeland. Next one from the SPOC program, Heather Corey. Unable to join us tonight, Clifford Custer. Next is Daniel L. Custer. Next is Alyssa Dearborn. Susan, she just had surgery, and I didn't know if she wanted to get up or she wanted us to bring the diploma to her. Alyssa and Susan are a mother-daughter team graduating together this year. Susan Dearborn. Next is Walter J. Eckert. By Jason Gilland. And next is Rachel Maley. And Linda Mast. Next name, you see two asterisks for salutatorian. This gentleman got the second highest score on the GED test, Alan D. Miller. Pardee. Okay, not with us this evening, Christy Piper from the SPA program. The next one has 3 asterisks. He had the highest score on the GED test, Herbert Riede. And next is Sean Reardon. And the third one from the SPA program, Dolores Southworth. Not with us this evening, Bonnie Swartzfeger, and last but not least, Keith Winicki. He has no cover because he's been out showing his diploma to Army recruiters. No envelopes. Okay. That concludes our graduating class for the 2016.
Thank you. Now if you'd be seated, because about 20 years and something else, and then it grew. So we went from about 15 people till probably 125 to 140. And so what we normally do is for the graduates. Does anybody here know where the Meadville High School cafeteria is? Oh, Keith, you do. Sure. Some of you. The graduates always go first. Now, my wife and Jennifer Smith, a student, have been down there cutting cake and putting cake out and all that. So if you take them down, Keith, lead the way, to the cafeteria and go in the far door. Probably the first one, go down, because that's where the cake is, and then they go in that door and start the line. So if you would take this group with you, we'll go down to the cafeteria now for refreshments. Okay? Well, Keith.
Good to see Herbie.
Herbie.